Rome is not just a city, it is a universe, an environment where history is not studied, it is breathed. Walking through its streets is like walking among the ghosts of the empire, among the whispers of the martyrs, among the secrets of the most ancient and enigmatic spiritual power on the planet. Rome is not visited, it is deciphered. Rome is the eternal city. And today, more than ever, this city is the epicenter of something immense, because Pope Francis is dead. And the Vatican finds itself at a crossroads that could change everything. April the 21st, 2025. History has been rewritten within the centuries-old walls of the smallest state in the world, and you are about to immerse yourself in that moment of rupture. But before continuing, if you are interested in this kind of deep, symbolic, and unfiltered journey, subscribe to this channel now, because here, we don't just show you what you see, we also tell you what's behind it. Today, we will walk through Rome, but not as simple tourists. We do it as chroniclers of the present, as witnesses of a unique moment, because the death of Francis is not just the passing of a religious leader. It is the end of an era marked by internal tensions, frustrated attempts at reform, and discrete battles between deep-rooted tradition and the urgent need for modernization. For more than a decade, Pope Francis has sought to shake up a structure that, for centuries, has remained rigid and protected from change. He was a different pope, uncomfortable for many. He lived austerely when ostentation was expected, spoke out fearlessly when others remained silent, denounced abuse when others covered it up, and embraced the marginalized when many excluded them. His figure broke protocols, challenged hierarchies, and unmasked hypocrisies. And this created a rift. Inside the Vatican, his presence ignited passions and resentments. They loved him or fought him, but no one could ignore him. Now that he is gone, the fragile balance that he himself had tried to maintain has been completely shattered. Alliances are being reconfigured, silences are being broken, and the long, strategic, and silent struggle for his succession has already begun. Cardinals from all over the world are arriving in Rome, but they do not come with an open heart or a contemplative attitude. They have strategies, with lists, with alliances woven in silence. Because at stake is the future of an institution that continues to influence governments, media, finance, and entire cultures. Will an African pope like Peter Turkson be a symbol of inclusion, global justice, and renewal? Or an Asian like Luis Antonio Tagle, close to young people, the media, and the new Catholic sensibility? Or will Europe regain control with people like Matteo Zuppi, who promises continuity without shocks? And all this happens here, in the heart of the most monumental city on the planet. Because Rome is also a character in this story. While the media reports the ceremony and the tears, the city remains alive and magnetic. Walking across the Ponte Sant'Angelo at sunset, while the dome of St. Peter's is reflected in the Tiber, is an almost sacred experience. Entering the Pantheon and feeling the light pass through the central oculus reminds us that this city was first pagan, then Christian, and forever eternal. Piazza Navona exudes Baroque, but it is also a reminder of underground Rome, where a stadium once stood. The Basilica of San Clemente has 3 levels of history: medieval church, early Christian basilica, and pagan temple. Rome is built in layers, like the church that inhabits it. And right now, those layers are shaking. Because the next conclave will not simply be a spiritual election, it will be an ideological battle. And Rome, with its Egyptian obelisks planted in front of its Baroque churches, with its cross-shaped symbols, with its stone lions and sphinxes knows it. This city has been the scene of emperors and heretics, of councils and conspiracies, of resurrections and silences. And today, here we go again. That's why I want to know what you think. What kind of pope should come after Francis? Someone who advances his vision of social justice, humility, and dialogue? Or someone who reestablishes traditional authority, rigid dogma, and obedience? Are you in favor of a more modern church or a return to the roots? Leave it in the comments. Because on this channel, we don't just inform, we also open conversations. And we keep walking. Next to Piazza Venezia stands the monument to Vittorio Emanuele II, with its white marble, a symbol of secular power. But you only have to cross a few streets to enter churches that house relics, sculptures and paintings that tell not only of faith, but also of control, censorship, pain, and redemption. Santa Maria sopra Minerva is a Gothic jewel hidden behind a modest facade. Santa Maria degli Angeli was built inside the Baths of Diocletian. Rome unites temples with a history of persecution, with mysticism, with messages that have survived the centuries. Here, every church holds secrets from times gone by. Crypts hidden beneath the altars, pagan symbols carved into Christian columns, frescoes that tell not only of faith, but also of power. It is a city where the sacred and the political have always been intertwined, where spirituality has been used both to console and to dominate. And at the center of it all, the Vatican. A small state with its own currency, its own ceremonial army, its own diplomatic network spread throughout the world, and a history studded with silences and scandals. A power that does not respond to the ballot box, but to ancient rituals. Decisions made behind closed doors under Michelangelo's frescoes, in the name of God, but with eyes turned to the earth. And now this power is preparing for its greatest test in decades. Because Francisco's death is just the beginning. The new pope will have to deal with a divided world, a fragmented church, a disillusioned faithful base, and one full of hope. It will have to respond to climate change, artificial intelligence, global tensions, the role of women and new generations who no longer see the church as a relevant voice. And all this will be decided in the next few days, between marble walls, prayers in Latin, and negotiations more suited to a ministry of defense than a sacred temple. Rome, the city of 1,000 faces, shows us once again that its beauty is not only aesthetic, it's politics, it's spiritual, it's symbolic. And that's why we love her. Because it is capable of containing all the contradictions of the world and yet remaining sublime. Thanks for making it this far. If you haven't already, subscribe to Uncensored Tourism now, because this channel will continue to tell every step of this historic moment. The new pope will be elected soon, and Rome will return to being the center of the universe.